children of the internet. Today I have a book called Paper Towns to review for you, and let me talk about why. Paper Towns by John Green, author of Looking for Alaska and the very, very popular The Fault in Our Stars, as well as An Abundance of Catherines, and several other things that he's written with a couple other authors, was published in 2008, and I have read it twice now, most recently yesterday. And you are probably wondering why, after all these years of reading it and then rereading and never reviewing it, are you just reviewing it now? The movie is coming out. Let's just keep it simple. So the book is being adapted into a film, and ordinarily I would try and do a book-to-movie comparison when the film comes out. However, given the fact that by the time you see this, I will be working like a crazy person at my job and probably not having enough time to even breathe, it's unlikely that I'm going to make it out to the theater in a timely enough fashion when the movie comes out to even do a book-to-movie review, and never mind the fact that where I am located in Massachusetts, they might not even be playing the movie. So that's going to be a problem. Despite that fact, this is an excellent story. I have heard several folks who have also read it say that this is their favorite John Green book, and I reread it this time around trying to imagine why, because it has never been my favorite John Green book, and I was honestly a little confused by the ending the first time that I had read it. I didn't understand why everyone thought it was so prolific. So I went into it looking for that this time. If you're unfamiliar with the plot, it's about a boy named Quentin who spent his entire life growing up next door to this beautiful girl named Margot Roth Spiegelman. One evening, she climbs into his bedroom window with a plan to do 11 things that night to seek revenge on some folks for wronging her, and sort of drags Quentin on this all-night adventure of buying things and plotting revenge on people and just generally causing a little bit of mayhem in their lives. And so when the wee hours of the early morning roll around and they part, he sort of hopes that now that they have had this experience together, they've never really been friends, even though they've been neighbors. They don't really know each other very well, and he hopes that after this things are going to be different. And then Margot disappears. So being completely in love with her and having had this great experience with her right before she disappears, Quentin follows these clues that he feels that she has left for him to find her, to figure out exactly where Margot Roth Spiegelman has gone. But as with all of John Green's books, there is a heightened sense of pretentiousness in the characters a little bit, because as I have said before, so many times John Green enjoys writing smart teenage characters, which is something that I really, really appreciate. The characters in this book spend a lot of time pondering over their relationships with each other, just in their friend group and the friends that come along with Quentin on this journey to find Margot. And also they spend some time pondering over things like Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, and what it means to leave a place and be connected to a place, and all of the metaphors that come from this particular poem. Now, me personally, I always appreciate that these characters are reflecting on such prominent works of literature, although it sort of does detract from their modern day flighty sort of teenager-ness. I think this book, perhaps more than John Green's other books, does show exactly how teenagery and true to life these particular characters are. I think the writing style in this book is a little less pushy than some of his other books. I think it's you spend a lot of time just in Quentin's head, going over and over things again and again, and how he feels about Margot, and how he's realizing that he never actually knew her. He just had this entire vision of her based on what he saw and what he heard about, even though they had known each other since they were tiny. And I think that's something that this book does best. There are times when you are just super frustrated with Quentin because he's so hung up on Margot and can't think of anything else, and gets frustrated when other people don't want to talk about it, and you just want to be like, dude, you need to chill out. Like, you have a life, and these other people have lives, and they just can't all go chasing after Margot at the end of their senior year of high school. But at the same time, you sort of have to think about Quentin himself and Margot herself the way that Quentin is thinking about her. And you start to ponder how you see your other relationships with other people, and how you understand yourself as a sort of a figment of your actual being, if that makes any sense. I found this book to be very ponderous the second time around about how I present myself to other people, to you folks, and how I present myself to myself, and I think it definitely connects with themes in John Green's previous work, most specifically in Abundance of Catherines, if you've read that. There are, of course, the excellent quirks to be found in this book that just keep getting hit upon and hit upon, namely Ben, who is an annoying but kind of adorable character who's Quentin's best friend, and how obsessed he is with going to prom, as well as Quentin's other friend, Radar, whose family is in the Guinness Book of World Records for a very particular collection of things, which I won't spoil because it's an interesting topic of discussion. There are just, of course, the great YA contemporary quirks that are thrown in there for all of these characters and all of their situations. Like I said, this book is being turned into a movie. I have really high hopes for it after sort of watching some interviews with John Green and just Vlogbrothers videos. He says that the movie isn't going to be exactly like the book, but what they've done with the script is to evoke the same feelings that you have while reading this book. So I'm excited to see the differences, if I get to see the differences, because of my aforementioned situation where I live in the woods. If you have read Paper Towns, please tell me your thoughts below, especially if you're one of those people that likes Paper Towns more than the rest of John Green's work, because I know he's got a fairly heavy following in favorite book being The Fault in Our Stars. So I'm interested to see other people's thoughts if they are Paper Towns camp type people. As always, thank you for watching. All of the links to anything you could ever want to know about us are below. I hope you're having lovely weeks and lovely lives, and we'll see you very soon.